There was a point in college where I was so depressed I wouldn't go to class just because, I had pimples and I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. Everyone's seen all the headlines, Ingu, about 450 million baht in 2 years, but actually behind the scenes, there's a lot of groundwork that still hasn't been laid yet.
And the fact that you are so willing to share your failures as well, it brings us back to where we always talk about relatability. Like people are tired of perfection.
Before this, I was stuck in jobs that I didn't really enjoy as well. And then it was that one moment where it clicked for me. I think it's a privilege to be able to do what you love every single day. When I get acne, I still feel like, oh my God, like I'm supposed to be this influencer, beauty blogger. I'm supposed to be in front of the camera. I'm supposed to be this brand owner who sells solutions for acne, but I have acne as well. And over the years, I still struggle with that. And I have to come back to my own words. You can be beautiful in the way that you are.
If you're enjoying the Huddle, you're going to love being in the room with us at Dragonfly Summit. It's happening September 27th and 28th in Bangkok, and because you're part of our community, you can get 700 baht off with the code DFHuddle. Links are below. Now back to the episode. Welcome back to The Huddle, where we sit with curious minds, creative leaders, and brave learners. This is a space for clarity, courage, and stories that move us forward. We've had so many powerful conversations this season, but today is one that really reflects the spirit of Dragonfly. Ingu is a Thai skincare brand that centers on love, emotional wellness, and body respect. With roots in both activism and artistry, Ingu invites its community to see skincare not as a core, but as a daily act of connection. What started as a deeply personal offering has grown into a movement, one that challenges outdated norms, reclaims softness and power, and brings a deeply human lens to beauty. We are so glad to welcome him on The Huddle.
You're very welcome.
Every time I turn, I wasn't following you, but you somehow popped up and your energy is so contagious. It's so uplifting. You move something in me, I send it to them, now you're here. And it's great to get to know new leaders, inspiring creators.
Thank you so much. A lot of my content really just comes from my passion. And so I think that's why it shows through the screen that I talk about something that I really enjoy too.
Yeah, it definitely shows. And I think that's the key, right? For everybody who's not just on social media, but doing anything, right? If you're going to do a business, it helps if you like what you're doing. It sounds really easy, but there are so many people end up in jobs. And sometimes it's not of their, you can't really control it, but there is something to be said about loving what you do, right?
It is. I think it's a privilege to be able to do what you love every single day. I wasn't always doing what I loved. Before this, I was stuck in loops of jobs that I didn't really enjoy as well. And then it was that one moment where it clicked for me. And then I started to do content and then spun off into the brand. I feel like I'm very blessed and lucky to have found this path today.
Your family has always been in the skincare business, right?
Yeah, so my grandparents have been making skincare. So it's been like 50 or 60 years in our family, or my dad specifically has his own brand as well. But growing up, I didn't think it was going to be my life goal. My parents were very free. They said, we'll send you to the best schools that money can buy at the time, and we want you to explore your own passion. So I wasn't restricted to coming back to the family business at all, but somehow, I don't know, it was written in the stars or something. Along the way, I found my passion in cosmetics and skincare, and so somehow I came back, but it wasn't always the plan.
Usually family business, especially in Asia, it's almost understood that you're gonna carry on. Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have a brother. We founded the skincare company together, actually. But I think in Asian families, a lot of times their parents really want them to come back to the family business, which is understandable because, it's making money, it's doing well. They really want to pass on, their knowledge to their children. But with my parents, they were very free from the start. I went to college. Freshman year, I studied music. At one point, I thought I was for sure going to be a musician or something.
Nice.
But somehow along the way, it just sort of changed for me.
And then you come back, and then you became this big creator, big influencer in terms of cosmetics, and then onto different realms of beauty, and then having his own brand as well. in terms of skincare, in terms of moisturizers, I feel like you want a good enough product that's sustainable.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you hit those high prices. They're amazingly great, but sometimes high maintenance is really hard to maintain compared to the other sector, which is a bit challenging to like change brands all the time. So I decided to stay with him. So it's been over a year now.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yes. Now, when did you first feel truly seen in your own skin?
I feel most seen when I'm creating products that I truly love to make, when I'm in the lab, when I'm like in the zone and trying to figure out solutions for customers. The skincare industry is very saturated.
Yeah.
It's like red ocean, as red as it can be. And so it's really hard to find something unique to the table. And so what I really enjoy the most these days is just reading research papers and trying to figure out, whether this chemical will work with this or not, or whether this is a good enough story or a unique enough solution for the market. So that is where I think my passion lies at the moment, and where I truly feel like I'm in the zone, I'm in my game.
It's such a joy to kind of see that, and the fact that you are so willing to share your failures as well. It brings us back to where we always talk about, vulnerability and relatability. Like, people are tired of perfection or like the finished product.
It's
right?
true. It's true. I think when you look at successful brand owners or successful people in general, you only see the good side. But before they can get there, there's so much trauma, challenges, and ups and downs along the way. And I think that's part of the journey that I want to share and normalize for the younger generation, especially because they look at, me and other successful creators and founders, and they think, oh, it must be so easy for them. And why is it so hard to find their passion? And I just want to tell them, it's never easy for anyone. It's just that social media has sort of glamorized that version, that perfect person that actually doesn't exist. Even sitting here right now, I still have problems and challenges that I have to overcome every single day. So that's the side that I want to bring forth to the world as well.
You've been very candid. There's a lot of vulnerability in your content. But where do you draw the line about sharing your own personal stuff between you and your boyfriend, for instance, or your partner?
A lot of what you see on social media is actually pretty curated. It might not look curated, but it's intentional. And I don't share a lot about, my personal life, my family, my day-to-day in terms of my relationships that much, because I think much of my life is already online. And so I want to keep that special part to myself.
We had a conversation, me and my husband, yesterday. We drove back from Khao Yai. Somehow along the way, I got into my phone and checked my messages, and then I just didn't come back to the conversation. So we said, can we have a conversation about moving forward? Do we have a moment where offline? So I was like, what do you mean? He says, just no checking phones, just be together, be present with one another. We want to test that out. And sometimes because we work together and we live together, so it's like, we always end up talking about business, Pam, Cindy, Ingg, and it's just, we're trying to navigate that. What about you guys? Do you have like an off time from your partners? Like no phones?
I mean, we just went on a family holiday, no phones on the table.
Yeah.
So every single meal, and we actually penalized everybody because sometimes you just like mistakenly look at it, and then we took points out, and then the person who ended up with the most points had to sing. We took a train from Machu Picchu to Cusco, would sing in the train.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so that was really good. And the other thing was to not be late. So that was a point deduction system. And I really liked it. And usually we do it at home for dinner, but I want to actually do more of it, like weekends and stuff. Like I think 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on certain days when you're together, you don't really need your phone.
Ota and I look at you and your boyfriend's content, and we're just like, oh, I want to go travel like them. They're so nice to each other, baby. They're so sweet. I know.
Thank
we're
you.
inspired by- They're going out. You went on a cruise, did you?
Yes. Oh my God, you are a true follower.
I am. And respect to filming everything. And it goes well because he also films. And he also creates. So my question to you is, what's it like having two creators in the house?
We each have different strengths in content creation. He likes to ideate and come up with new ideas. I'm good with the camera and I'm good with editing, I think. So we complement each other in different ways. But before we met, actually, he filmed some videos, like 2 or 3 videos, and he was very awkward in front of the camera. But once he met me, I think I sort of coached him, and he enjoyed being more in front of the camera as well. And so it was a relationship where we both grew into each other in terms of making content. But yeah, we're still finding that line as well, like where is our relationship and where is the content in our relationship? Because once everything becomes a content moment, then there's nothing left to be private, to be kept just for ourselves.
Pam comes from a private world. She doesn't really post much on Instagram. I remember you posting e-foil 4 years ago. But it's good to have a friend who does not need to be
Of the
on.
other world.
Because
But I'm actually very jealous of
I'm
people
so
like that
same.
now because, we're always on all the time, and everything's like, can this be a content moment? Can that be a content moment? And so sometimes it's really refreshing to see someone who's not on all the time.
Even just like on vacation now, I consciously don't post and just being in the moment and enjoying it,
Yes.
what about you and your family? Do you have like no screen
Yeah, no
time
screens at the
for-
table. We've made a deal that the first 2 hours waking up, he has to work out, do some sort of exercise for half an hour, read for half an hour, and do music for half an hour. Then the screens can go on.
What about you?
I mean, I think these are all really good exercises that I need to implement in my life as well. But I'm chronically online. Like, I think there's a function on your phone in the settings that can track how many hours
Yes.
you've been on
How
your
many?
phone. Ooh, mine is like 15 plus per day.
Per day?
What do you do?
What do you do? Like, what do you do?
Because my work is on the phone,
Yeah.
that I feel guilty when I'm not checking all the time or when I'm not creating something on my phone. But recently, I think it was last month, I was on an island and the resort had like a no phones policy. So I didn't have my phone for 3 days. And I felt so relaxed
Yeah.
and refreshed after the 3 days.
What's your kryptonite for social media? Like, what would be the app that's like that you would just doom scroll on?
I don't do that.
You don't do? You don't doom scroll?
I have so many kryptonites.
But one would be, the number one would be.
Oh God, it's just Instagram, X, just because I want to keep up with all the
Oh, you do X?
yeah. YouTube just for videos. I like to watch the late night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So same question to you. What's your kryptonite? Which app would take you hours?
It would probably be TikTok today or this year in particular. But last year it was like YouTube, and I'm also on Instagram a lot, I think.
Yours is ChatGPT.
That's not an app. But yeah.
More productivity, but TikTok, I'm telling you, somehow it's becoming really good at the algorithm in terms of baiting you to stay on. And if you're off of it for a week, it gives you the best video on the first time that you go back in. I think we're living in the times where social media for us, we are mindful enough to know when it's taking over you or when you're actually controlling it. So it's like a race against who is controlling who. And I think we're slowly navigating that.
Like even us growing up, we experienced those problems as well. But like imagine kids growing up today, I with social media and with all of that, I think, the insecurities are, 100 times more.
Yeah, I think it's also the reality of the world we live in, though. I mean, like it or not, that's how kids socialize. So for me, I feel like the best balance is make sure you instill as much as you can healthy body image. And it comes down to just making them feel confident, feel grounded. Talking about social media, I mean, there's a lot of really amazing positive things as well, just like how we found you. How do you see Ingu disrupting the industry norms, especially when it comes to like beauty image as well?
I see. So I think a lot of our insecurities today comes from not having, the perfect skin. And for me, I used to have a lot of acne as well. I didn't used to have this skin, and I struggled really hard with acne. There was a point in college where I was so depressed I wouldn't go to class just because I had pimples and I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I would go into the bathroom and not have the lights on, and I would shower in the dark because I didn't want to see what was on my face at the time. Coming from that moment to graduating college and then continuing my education in science and skin, I really wanted to dig deep into what was causing all the skin problems in society. And I came to the fact that a lot of people are using too much skincare just because, the marketing world or just because society has pushed this narrative that you have to spend more, you have to use more, you have to use the most expensive stuff, you have to it's like prakom, use as much as possible. The 10-step Korean skincare routine was very popular at that time. And I realized that my problem in college also came from the fact that I was using too much, because too much of a good thing can actually be a bad thing for your skin. And so with Ingu, I really wanted to push the message that our skin is a very smart organ. You don't have to use so much, or you don't have to try and manipulate it. You just have to help it along,
Let it breathe.
let it breathe.
Isn't that true for everything though? It's too
it's
much.
Like the yin and yang.
And this message, this continuous message, I think you hit on it, was that they're trying to tell us that we're not enough.
Exactly.
So many ways. And it's up to us to kind of filter through that and listen to the voices that are positive and uplifting. What about the name Ingu? Where did you come up with that?
On paper, what I say to the media is it means ingredients for you. So Ingu. But actually, it's just my nickname. It's what my mother used to call me when I was a kid. She would be like, Ingo, manilao. So it sort of worked out. And also, it was a name that was easy to trademark. So it checked all the boxes for us, and so it became Ingu.
Now you have more fans around the region as well. Because as you do content in English, more people are following or listening. How's that going for you? And any plans of expanding beyond outside of Thailand?
I just started making content in English these past 2 months, it hasn't even been 2 months yet.
Wow, I must have seen one of your very first videos.
I
one
think
that
so.
was your introductory one.
Yes. I'm so proud of myself that I finally, put myself out there and spoke in English, because coming back from the US after college, my Thai wasn't very good. And so I had to practice and listen to a lot of Thai media. My friend group at the time was all Thais. I sort of assimilated myself back into the Thai culture, but at the same time, I felt like I lost that part of me that was, that dek inter, that person who went to college in the US, and starting content in English again felt like coming home for me. And I'm so happy. I wake up each morning now really excited to make content in English. And as you've said, I've gotten a lot of international fans as well, particularly a lot in Southeast Asia, in India, Europe, the US. And it's really refreshing because Thai cosmetics are really good, but the world doesn't know about it yet. And so I'm really proud and really excited to be that voice for Thai beauty.
What is it about the Thai cosmetic industry that we can be proud of? Please share with us.
Some of our biggest factories in Thailand produce
all the biggest brands.
The biggest global brands they produce in Thailand. So we have the know-how, we have the technology, we have the human resources, we have the factory lines to produce all of this, but it's just the perception of the consumers, both locally and internationally, I think still needs to be changed on how, good Thai beauty can actually be.
And you are leading the charge.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Can you please share with me why is it that in Thailand the designs or the packaging, I just feel like it's not comparable to other parts of the world?
I have a very good answer for that. It's because Thai consumers and Thai brands compete on price at the moment. So anything expensive and locally made can't really sell that well because Thai consumers aren't willing to buy expensive local products, but they're more than willing to spend on a French brand or a Japanese brand. And if the consumers are ready to pay a premium for local brands, then the producers we're already producing all these expensive things, but we're just not putting made in Thailand on the label.
Perception thing.
Yeah. An example that I want to give for the Thai beauty industry that they're doing really well is the spa segment. Those brands don't compete on price. They compete on quality.
Yeah.
So they just want to make the most expensive products, but the quality is there. So that's why I think that they can go international and they can be recognized internationally as good products. And so that's what I'm trying to do with cosmetics and the skincare space.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
And you have how many people in your business, under your management?
So currently our main office has around 70 employees and we have some more in the warehouse and packing.
How do you, at your age, Dragonfly's ethos is about how to lead well. How do you identify with yourself being a leader at such a young age to lead such a big company?
I'm learning new things every single day as a leader. 3 years ago when I started my brand, myself 3 years ago and myself today, completely different.
In what way?
Completely different in every way, basically. I used to think that running a brand is like a group project with your friends, in college. But as I quickly learned, you need boundaries. You need to have it's called wuthi.
Mature.
Yeah,
Mature.
Yeah, and then
Maturity and
under that maturity umbrella, there's like all these other words that come.
complex,
Yeah, exactly. So you need that to be a good leader. Transitioning from just running a company with 5 or 10 employees, like it's a group project, to actually being a head of head departments is a huge transition for me. And it's something that I'm still learning and failing and struggling with every single day.
You know what? I realize that at this point in time, you are where you're supposed to be. All these challenges, all these issues, all these failure. And remember, failure is found another important lesson. So every time you fail, it's like, oh, I'm learning something along the way and I'm growing.
I think the biggest key success factor for like a founder is how fast you can bounce back from your failures.
Oh, yeah.
But I think one thing that really helps is if you're passionate about what you do, which, not everyone is fortunate enough to be in this position. And so I thank whatever circumstances has led me to this space today, that at least whatever problems come my way, I'm able to get back up quickly.
What are some of your biggest frustrations?
Skincare in general is a very fast-moving industry, and so you can never really relax. It's always a marathon because brands are coming out with new products every single month. So it's a matter of endurance. I think that's the hardest part about running this business. Skincare is basically fashion these days. You have to be in the zeitgeist, you have to be in the fabric of the culture, and you have to, at the same time, innovate and read scientific papers and match all of this together. There's a lot of moving parts that you have to sort of see the whole picture and be able to dig deep into each and form a cohesive picture.
I think at that age, you just go, you just do it, and you don't know where you're really going, and that's the beauty of it. And something else plops into the whole stream of things. But like you said, the best learning is the failures that you come across, right?
I think there's something to be said about just staying in motion, right? Yeah. I think you do that just kind of to maintain, but you can't just drop everything because then it's stagnant, right? It's about, being nimble. It's about trying to figure out as you go.
It's true.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of that too is you learn so much about yourself, right?
Yeah.
As you're learning to make these mistakes and trying to maneuver which way you're supposed to lead well in whatever capacity you're doing with each situation that you're faced with. You kind of have to shift and maneuver. And so you're learning about yourself and you're growing.
Exactly.
And that's great.
I think it doesn't even have to be like a huge change or a huge shift, like reinventing yourself every single day, but it's just tiny changes, but in the direction sort of that you want to go in every single day. By the end of the year, you're in a completely different space already.
Right.
So it's just about the endurance of slowly but steadily moving in the direction that you want to get to.
Turtle or rabbit? Choose.
I might be a rabbit, but I do see value in being a turtle. You can go fast, sure, but it'll be a lonely journey for you. But I've learned that if you want to go far, you have to go slowly and you have to go with a team. So our brand is only 3 years old, and this year is the year that we've switched from a rabbit to a turtle. And it was a very conscious decision on my part because, everyone's seen all the headlines, Ingu, about 450 million baht in 2 years, we've gone so fast, but actually behind the scenes, there's a lot of groundwork that still hasn't been laid yet. And so this year, I really wanted to build a better team, a better culture, work on our operations, and maybe next year we'll become a rabbit again. I'm not sure.
I wonder though, identity, coming back to identity as well. And I mean, Dragonfly, we talk a lot about masks. Like
Masks,
we had one of
yeah.
our speakers last year talking about Dr. Shafali. Her whole thing is like, all these masks that we put on for different reasons over the years, how liberating it is to have the courage to take off those masks. And I want to tie it into your industry a little bit. I know I'm sure you'd make masks as well, but Ingu is not just a brand of skincare. It's so much more than that. Like, how do you want for people to be comfortable and be able to show their real selves, take off that mask?
Everyone wants to look a certain way to the world and present themselves. They think, having the perfect skin will get them accepted into society more. Having, no wrinkles, having no acne. So I think people wear masks because the societal pressures and the beauty standards of society. In each culture, the standards are different. And so people are constantly finding different masks in order to be able to assimilate into the cultures that they live in. So what I usually try to promote is, first of all, you have to recognize that the beauty standards exist and they have historical roots as well. So once you understand this, then you can ask yourself, do I want to conform into this norm or into this standard that's been built for hundreds of years, or just be myself and love myself for how I am, how I was born. With Ingu and myself, I try to promote that. I try to get people to know that it's fine not to wear that mask all the time. It's fine to just be as you are and come as you are. And that can be beautiful if you think that that is beautiful. And that's just as simple as a mindset shift that you have to make for yourself. And I know it's easy to say, but it's very hard to do. Going back to my own example, I was so insecure about my acne way back in my college days, to the point where I wouldn't go to class because I felt like I didn't conform to that societal beauty standard. And over the years, I still struggle with that today. When I get acne, I still feel like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be this influencer beauty blogger. I'm supposed to be in front of the camera. I'm supposed to be this brand owner who sells solutions for acne, but I have acne as well. It still takes a toll on my mental health sometimes, but I have to remember, and I have to come back to my own words, you can be beautiful in the way that you are.
Bringing it back to Dragonfly, bringing it back to leadership, you're very young to be being able to do this, from what we see, so gracefully and so effortlessly. I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes. What would be your advice for aspiring leaders? People just coming out of, university, wanting to take that next step. What would you tell them?
I graduated not knowing what I wanted to do at all. I went into management consulting because that was what all of my friends were doing. And so I was sort of just pressured into doing it. I was there for 2 years and I was so miserable because I was just making process flows and restructuring companies. I felt like I was dying inside. So on the weekends, I would take classes, formulation classes, skincare classes. I'd read textbooks, I'd read studies, and I'd go back to the factory and I'd work with my aunts and uncles who were formulators while I was doing the full-time job in consulting, because I wanted a way out. So it was a period in my life where I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I was having fun doing this. So my suggestion, I think, for a lot of new graduates or people who are still finding their way is to not be afraid to try new things and not be afraid to follow that gut instinct. And once you're able to find that, don't be scared of being tired. You're gonna be tired.
Oh my God, thank you. I feel like it's gonna be hard work. I talked to my daughter. She's like, Mom, I want a life that's easy. I'm like, it's not gonna be easy.
It might be easy in 20 years. I don't know.
It's easy now. I said, this is the easy. Enjoy it now, because it's gonna get tough, but it's gonna be fun as well.
I know, but if it's tough but it's fun, then you can tough it out.
I think things are changing. Success is being redefined. One of the speakers that are coming to Dragonfly, Brianna Weiss, she's written a whole bunch of books, but this one I'm reading is The Life That's Waiting for You. And it's every chapter. Read this when you're doubting yourself. And it's literally just a couple pages. And it's such a beautiful reminder. And it's like, read this when you have no idea what to do next. For anybody who's, in that situation. Yeah. It's just, it's okay not to know. It's okay not to have it all figured out. In fact,
It's okay to make mistakes.
in the thing that you think is going to be your amazing life and fails, it's because the universe had something way better waiting for
That
you.
is so
Right?
true. As I said, I went to college to study music. I felt like a failure, like a complete failure, because it was so competitive and everyone was so good at music. And so I transferred into business, and then I transferred into, science. And then at each step, I felt like I didn't belong. But looking back today, everything prepared me for who I am today. Like my confidence
true.
came from when I was studying music and performing in front of live
Yes.
audiences. How I run my business acumen was from my time at, consulting and business school.
Which you were frustrated with at that
But
time.
Exactly.
it was a perfect jigsaw puzzle into this.
Exactly. And my love for science now is everything that I do with formulation. And so it just all came
Amazing.
together into a big piece.
It will
Amazing.
continue to shift and change.
Yeah.
I do believe that when we come into this life, we chose all these challenges for us. It was designed by us that this is the challenge that we want. So we continue to break through with all these trouble, difficulties, which is a part of us in
Yeah.
life. And that's how it's going to be. There will be difficulty. There will be happiness. There will be celebrations. There will be sadness. There will be birth. There will
That's
be
the
death.
beauty of life,
That's
right?
the
Yeah.
beauty of life. And happy that an RISer,
Arisian.
Arisian is joining us with the Huddle today. And, your dream came true, Cindy. You've waited months for this.
I
and-
know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We want to invite you to the Dragonfly Summit. We want you
Absolutely.
to, come and see what we're putting together. And again, this is for leaders in however you relate to that.
So thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
our
Very welcome.
conversation. Thank you for your beautiful energy.
you.
Thank you so much for having
You are
me.
glowing literally.
Thank
You are
you.
glowing
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us at the Huddle, and we'll see you again in our next episode.